Now obviously there's a couple of thoughts here. What am I doing? Close that off. Since to chop down a fence you take out a fence post with a chainsaw, that gives you a short stump of wood. So what I might do is buy a very small chipper and turn the fence posts into wood chips, because I can store those in the silo. Okay, what does this look like? This looks like 55, 56. About there. Let's turn that on. 58, 59. And why did you stop? Seriously, why did you stop? And why are you going at 15 degrees? Okay. Dude, you suck. Okay, let's... Oh, okay. Let's lower that. Maybe I'm going a little bit crazy. There we go. So that's straight. And off goes the worker in a straight line. Okay, that's done. Okay, I'm going to set that off on a worker, and we'll go and get this one, empty the wheat, and go grab the loading wagon. Actually, I'll take this tipper over to the field with the harvester in so it can empty easily. I don't have to tend to it at the moment. Okay, so what am I gonna do with this? I think I'll do it. I'll leave it as close to the fence as possible. That way the harvester can empty into it still. The harvester went the wrong way, so I have to come back and give it a handout of where it's going. Okay. Okay, harvester's about to give up. I've finished. No, you didn't. There's a whole nother part of the field you need to do. Give me a moment and I'll give you a little bit of guidance. Okay. I actually have to do a headland both ends. I mean, just taking the hedgerow out and leaving the path there will give me enough room to turn around at this end of the field. Oh, this is barley. Next one over is oats, and we didn't buy that one. Well, this field's actually a little bit tricky. And it's a common problem on this map, Mercury Farms, is that the headlands around the field are much too close. On Law Folds, I ended up by, at least for one of the fields, I don't think for many of them, but at least one of them, I bought a roller, and basically that piece of land, which I just harvested there, once I'd finished harvesting the field, I just took a roller to it and turned it into grass. Because there's not enough room for the harvester to turn around in. And so you always ended up with a narrow strip of whatever crop you grew at the end of the field, which you had to go back and do. And I just said, you know, for every time I'm having to harvest this field, it's just easier for me to turn the end of the field into a larger grass area so that I don't have to worry about the helper not being able to turn around. Now, I could have done what I'm doing here and just cut along the edge and then let the worker loose on the middle. That's always an option. But, it's what you think of at the time. Do that. We'll do this bit. We'll do the bit at the end that you missed. Come on. Back up. How's this look? I'm actually going to go down to the bottom. Kind of like to buy 13. I mean, it's only 61,000. Still leave us 200. And we don't need any different equipment to harvest that one. And 12 and 13 would combine together to make a nice squarer field than they are at the moment. Ouch. Okay. get this started, at least that way. Work can go now. So, what happened here? Now, I'm actually going to have to plough every field anyway, because the harvester or the seeder I'm going to be buying isn't going to be capable of cultivating. Because to do that it needs length, and length is not a luxury we have at the moment. So that's that field ploughed in. It needs to be seeded, but we don't have the time. We don't have the equipment. Plus it's much easier to get all the jobs with one tool out of the way before you move on to the next one. There's the plane again. Okay, did you finish, or? Nope, there's still bits left. Okay. Oh, and the other good news we had this week was the 4-year-old girl we have was born in December, so she's not eligible for 4-year-old preschool. However, since she is eligible for 4-year-old preschool next year, they had an open day at the school. So we all went along to take a look at the school she'd be going to next year, and the principal told us well, she might not be eligible for 4-year-old preschool, but she is eligible for 3-year-old preschool. And we have one of those, and we have a spare slot for her. And we found out basically what the principal does is she puts a little bit of a budget aside each year for cases such as ours, where you've got a foster child come into the district, is eligible for school, but wasn't around to register. I mean, our kids come from about 80 miles away from here, and so yeah, obviously not in the local school district. So that's kind of nice. So she's going to be going to school on Tuesday next week, which means my wife and I will have a day off, or 2 days off a week. And then we also queried about her going to preschool next year, because the preschool class is for people of low income. Now, we're not exactly people of low income, we're people of kind of a little bit above average income. So she wouldn't be eligible to go to the school. However, she's a foster kid. So if her status on the 1st of June is foster kid in this school district, then that's her status, regardless of if that changes and maybe we adopt her sometime during the year, because on the 1st of June she was a foster kid. That's her status for the entire school year. So that's going to be nice. She's going to get into the class that we've had from previous foster kids in. Obviously we know the teachers quite well. I mean, it's not that we'd have to pay to put her in preschool if the place wasn't. It's just that that particular class is reserved for low-income families and foster kids. So that's how they qualify. Go round. Oh, quick, before the harvester gets there. No. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I messed that up. We're going to mess it up at the other end too, if I'm not careful. Crikey. Oh, this isn't going to be easy. Yeah, that's not going to be easy. I'll skip the end. Now, at the moment, I'm in the state with the foster kids is completely up in the air. We don't know if we're going to have them next year. We don't know if we'll be able to adopt them if they come up for adoption. However, them coming up for adoption is a likelihood, even if we don't end up being able to adopt them, because obviously family members get first option. Family member still needs to be suitable, but family first, then strangers. So there's a chance they still might be in foster care, in our care, in which case not a problem. But if they're released for adoption and we don't adopt them, then they'll end up somewhere else. If we do adopt them, then they'll end up as our kids, and we're not planning to be going anywhere. What are you doing, harvester? You are... oh, pain in the butt. Okay. Gonna have to kill some of the crop. Pull that up there. And... kill some of the crop. Okay. That's the problem if he turns around and doesn't get fully clear, is you're always going to destroy something, because workers don't damage crops, just people. How's the plough doing? He's doing okay. Be a while before he gets anywhere close to being done. Oops, that's the wrong button. That's the right button. Zoop. Zoop. Take a little bit off there. We'll put it back where we found it. That's the other problem doing things this way. This is costing us a fortune in salaries. And of course, once we're done with all the harvesting, the harvester goes away for a while. It's kind of an expensive piece of equipment that spends a lot of its life sitting around doing nothing. So in Lawfolds, for the first year, I didn't own a harvester. In fact, for the first year and a lot, I didn't own a harvester. It was fall of the second year I bought the harvester. But prior to that, I leased one on the first year. Because I was playing 6-day seasons, so that's 24 days a year. You've got a harvester for 24 days and you use it for 2 of those. That's kind of expensive. However, after the first year, I bought in probably about $500,000 in profits from crops, and so by the end of the second year, you bought in another $500,000. It's sort of I can kind of afford a harvester, and it doesn't matter if it's sitting around doing nothing for 90% of the year. I mean, on that one, I've even got a forage harvester. Squeak. I love how now the engine revs up when you engage the piece of equipment. I think, but I'm not entirely sure, the fuel usage climbs as well. Now on Farm Sim 17, for most of my playthroughs, I used the real fuel usage mod, and that did increase your horsepower. The faster you went, the more power draw you would, power you're drawing off the engine, everything like that. And it also required that if you have a 120 horsepower piece of equipment, not only does your tractor need 120 horsepower to operate that piece of equipment, it needs a certain amount of horsepower more to get the tractor rolling, and if you're going uphill, even more horsepower to overcome gravity and friction and all that physics stuff. So I'm kind of used to it, and a lot of the time I will over-specify my tractors for the equipment I'm using, even on flat ground. I mean, one thing that would be nice is if the wear and tear on the tractor maintenance schedule was affected by how much power it's having to output to do all the work. So if I've got a 200 horsepower tractor and I'm routinely running 100 horsepower equipment on it, then maybe it shouldn't require as frequent maintenance as if I've got a 200 horsepower tractor and I'm running 220 horsepower equipment on it. I'm stressing the equipment, I'm stressing the PTO, I'm stressing the transmission, I'm stressing the engine, I'm stressing the cooling system. It's going to need servicing more often because I'm not treating it carefully. But I don't think that is an aspect of Farm Sim 17, Farm Sim 19 even. But the engine does certainly get louder when you start turning equipment on. Tufts of wheat on this field. Barley. This is a barley field. So we're not missing any tufts of wheat on this field. We're doing okay with this run at the moment. I don't know how much we've got in the tipper. We'll have to run that back to the shed sometime soon. Nearly full. Maybe I should think about doing that. Although we've got about 1,000 litres left in this. So hopefully this strip here will do it. There we go. Does sound good. Don't really have to run wide. Come back this way. Drop this in the field and then go get the tipper. Well, I'm not sure how I'm going to get it turned around on this lane. Should I try and reverse it? That could be fun. Oh. Okay, that's not going to work. Maybe it is. Cheat. And nicely, we've ended up with the pipe on the right side. What is the time? It's about 11 something. Put the time up on the top. 11:15. So I think what I'm going to do, I'll finish harvesting this field and then call this session time. Drop the piece of equipment, that one there. And then what I might do is I might continue the harvest. Basically get us to a point where the fields are all ready to go for seeding. And possibly still have the cornfield to harvest. And then next week we can get on. Yeah, we're kind of close to the point where we were at the end of last week, where, you know, first session I harvested everything, second session I planted everything, and then obviously the map got reset. So I needed to do it all again. I had actually started selling some of the grains that I'd harvested. So this week I'll keep the stream running until this field is harvested. I may purchase the oat field next to it and harvest that off camera. And then we'll finish the soybeans and corn at the start of next week. See how the ploughing's done. I'll probably get a limer and lime some of the fields. I might not bother liming. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Hi, dude. Sorry. How about you go? You're bigger. And then we can come back. Do some planting, finishing off the harvesting next week. Will be doing law folds again tomorrow morning. Can't remember how far we've got with that. Put that there. Turn that off. Okay, you're still doing the harvest. You're still running up and down this field. Actually, nearly finished. Not bad. Oh. Little patches along there that it didn't manage to plough. Maybe the same at the top end. Anyway, you stop. I'm gonna do this now, okay? where were we on law folds? We've done... oh, we just cut the grass, so I've got to collect bales. I slept the night off camera, so the silage bales at the VGA are now actually silage and not grass. So I will be able to sell those and make loads of money plus digestate. But for the most part, we're kind of fast winding through days where it rains, because we can't get any field work done. I think I set up the truck to do bale collecting, but on reflection, probably what I'll end up doing is I'll get the bale trailer, the mechanical collection trailer, and pick up the bales using that. And then maybe later we'll use the truck to transport them all to the BGA. But I need the bales off the field so we can start the ploughing work, and that's going to be as and when weather allows. And I may do some additional World of Warships over the weekend as well, because boats just got to get sunk. Drop that there. We'll turn that off. How about that? Extend the pipe and run over to here. So equipment we're going to need are things like seeders, obviously fertilizer. We'll need a fertilizer spreader. We will need a small weeder, but I can't see any of that being significant costs. So I'm going to buy that field there. So how does that look? 203,000 money. Awesome. We'll fold that in and I'll drive down to the next field. So, yeah, tomorrow morning law folds. World of Warships on Monday, maybe something else in the middle, but no promises on anything else in the middle. Thank you for watching, and I am out of here. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend.